This week on the Southern Fried Philosophy podcast, we recap SFP Lent. We'll talk some wacky news, and yep, it's that time of the month again. All that and more on this week's episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy podcast. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy podcast, where it's two guys take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, and you, the listener, are getting a degree in common sense. We are broadcasting live from the Busted Knuckle studio right here in beautiful downtown historic Concord, North Carolina. I'll be your host, Biggin, and how about you? We've got a great show lined up for you as always, but before we begin, let me introduce you to the second half of this flaky biscuit. That's right, I'm talking about the pride of Anderson, South Carolina, 2016's honorable mention hashtag of the year. There he is, right across from me, sitting on old mic number one. It's Mojo!
Let me tell you, I've gotten a lot of flack for my comments about women not being able to choose what they wanted to eat.
Yep.
Well, that's just because they're hangry.
You should give your wife a Snickers bar right before it happens. Come on.
No, she wouldn't be able to decide between a Snickers and a Twix or Reese's Pieces, man. So, I've given up on that. Anyway, thanks for joining us once again for another episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy podcast. You can go on our Facebook and follow us at southernfriedphilosophy.com or Southern Fried Philosophy. You can also go to our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. Also, our Twitters and Instagram at SFP Radio. Go to our YouTube at youtube.com/SFP Radio.
And if you would like to check us out at any time, please shoot us an email at sfpradio@gmail.com, and you yourself could be sitting in the Busted Knuckle studio with your smoking hot seats, brought to you by Bad Mother Smokers, and you can sit down and watch us, and we'll just pick our nose, do the show, basically anything you'd like.
Yeah. Bring a six-pack.
Of
some beef
Jell-O.
jerky and beef jerky sticks.
Man, do you like beef jerky?
Did you know they actually closed the beef jerky outlet down?
No,
Yeah,
did they really?
They did.
They had delicious popcorn.
The one here in near Concord and near the mall, they just shut it down. The beef jerky outlet. Number one, I'm not surprised. Number two, I've always wondered how a place would just operate off jerky. So
Well, they had popcorn. I know that much. Yeah, and beef jerky is not one of those things that you really feel like you need to go to an outlet mall to
sure,
get. I'm just saying.
Any gas station,
Yeah.
grocery store, make it to home. Yeah.
How much beef jerky do you think you're going to eat when you go to the outlet store? Because,
Yeah.
outlets have, the big, Costco versions of things.
Yeah, but it's also it's got to be the most single impulse buy when you go in there. Because I'm sure you could probably go in there and be like, I'm going to get some beef jerky. I'm here. I'm here
Yeah.
for the race, whatever.
Yeah,
And all of a sudden,
exactly.
you end
There's
up,
that.
all of a sudden you end up with 12 bags of different types of beef jerky.
Ostrich jerky.
Alligator,
Yeah.
squirrel, and then, some hot sauces from across the country. So I've never understood really how they made it, but of course, they're gone now here.
Are you going to try to pick up that spot?
No,
That'd be a good
no,
spot.
thank you. That is the worst parking lot situation in the world.
But I tell you what, if you could get something that could go along really good with a Starbucks, hey, buddy, because
Yeah.
it's right there, and a Five Guys,
Yeah.
I might not leave that whole section there.
That's true. That's true. Up north, I saw a coffee shop with a strip club next to it
Hey,
when I was passing through Ohio.
how many ladies do you think have burn marks from their from spilled coffee?
Yeah, that would just imagine. McDonald's has been sued, so yeah, I didn't think it was a great concept
Ow,
either,
not
but
my-
I'm just saying it
not the
existed.
coffee again.
So, yeah. So how you be doing, buddy?
Well, let me ask you how you be doing. Let me ask you that first.
Well, I hope I don't offend anyone, but
Here we
I
go.
feel like I have snorted a line of pollen.
Hey,
My sinuses are absolutely wrecked.
ugh.
So it is yellow season in the South. You cannot go outside. You cannot put a shoe on the ground without puffing a big smoke or a big patch of yellow smoke. You cannot touch your car. You cannot breathe the air without being just engulfed in this just yellow haze.
My wife has got a headache, so she says, due to the pollen. And the weather's been so nice. I love keeping the door open.
Sure.
But then she yells at me because she's like, "It's gonna get everywhere."
Oh yeah. Well, just to make a point there, I know it's everywhere that has pollen, but it is just this next few weeks will be just I mean, like it rained a little bit last night. You could see the little mini rivers of pollen, but we pulled all our motorcycles out the other day at the shop, and just to give us more room. And it probably went 15 minutes. Everything is covered with sheen of just yellow.
It's not bothering me yet. I'm a little worried.
Well, I'm not exactly sure why I got hit hard this year because usually I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
But dude, it's
owning my life.
Yeah, it's sinuses are on fire, and then here we go, just taking double doses of Claritin and whatever else you can hanker down. So
the thing that's owning me is gas. Man, I don't know what it is, but something has got a hold of I haven't ate in a solid 24 hours.
Jeez.
And I'm still like having major gas going.
Well, at least you have gas, because right now I never trust it. So I'm going to be honest with you, I don't trust it anymore. Between medicine and keto diet, you just never trust that.
You're right about that.
So
let's maybe talk a little bit about the SFP Lent and our recap on that one. A little bit of some Need to Breathe. You like Need to Breathe? I thought it'd be appropriate for your sinuses.
Yes, I do need to breathe. So.
Daddy was a preacher. She was his wife.
So, Southern Fried Lent. Just if this is your first episode and you haven't heard of it before, we did a 40 days plus 7, right?
Yeah. Plus 6.
Plus 6. So we did 40 days.
Just bring 40 of your closest friends, and they get 6 dates.
There you go. We did 40 days leading up to Easter of Lent. We started with the Lent holiday, and we did 40 nights. Got on there at 9 o'clock Eastern, and then we did the Holy Week of 6 days leading up to Easter.
Yeah.
Just that was kind of a little thing. We just did a few, like a 10 to 15 minute devotional.
Mine
was more like 7. Yours was more like 20, just because you're such a good teacher.
The average, because I rambled and I said the same thing six different ways. So,
that's okay.
The average was about 10.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 to 15.
But you did a great job, so I enjoyed watching.
Well?
Whatever, I enjoyed watching you. So, but we appreciate everyone who tuned into that. Some feedback we've gotten personally. I told you about my guy who came into my shop and had been watching it, and how much he got out of it. So it's a very positive thing, I think.
And our past guest, Lisa Crouch, said that she enjoyed watching those and watched those pretty frequently as well. So
right. And by the way, if you haven't listened to the episode, please go back. It's episode 62. It's actually our the donor of my heart is his mother, and she did a phenomenal job. Strength of granite. I mean, I was probably more crying than she was. So it was very good. But anyway, she did give us kudos for the Southern Fried Lamb, which I appreciate.
Did you like that title though? Your Heartiversary?
Heartiversary?
Yeah.
That's good.
I felt like I made that up, but I probably didn't.
No. That's okay though. You did. Let's just say you did. That was good though. So
I told Jess, I was like, "Hey, look what I just did." And she goes, "Well, that's good."
Yeah. I've only seen it before. No, that's good though.
No,
so please go back and check that out, and also anyone that you know that is on the fence about donating the organs after they're no longer here, I think that will maybe kind of give an opposite perspective of a family who had to make that decision. So. Yeah.
Any growth? Anything from
the
Lent
SFP? The Lent. I've never been a big daily devotional guy, just because. And the first thing in the morning, in the mornings, you try doing the mornings, but mornings I get my coffee. I like to just sit there and burn my mouth the first few minutes, and then kind of just chill.
Yeah.
So I've never been a big, because that's kind of my routine. But I do find myself in a consistent pattern now. The other day I was in Cincinnati driving back, pulled over the side of the road and read for a few minutes. Wow. So I think consistency of getting back into Scripture, but also just hammering home the fact that Scripture obviously means different things to different interpretations of it, but also the Scripture that you read can mean one thing in a certain season of your life and have a total different meaning in a different part of the season of your life. So Scripture's there for valid purposes of storytelling, inspiration, what not to do. There's a lot of reasons for it, but I think it just hammered home. Also, personally, a lot of times, I wouldn't say discard, but certain parts of the Old Testament that you just kind of brush over. Yeah. I'll stick with the New Testament. It's a little more hopeful, but I think a lot of part of the Old Testament that I just always hated studying, you kind of revisit it again, and reopen to it. So, how about you?
Yeah, I think the consistency thing was good. I think, like you said, going back to the Old Testament, because a lot of the time, again, just to reiterate, I gloss over the Old Testament.
Sure.
And the New Testament's a lot shorter. So that's easier, and it's a lot easier to read.
That's right.
I will say that I'm pretty interested in going back and getting the Apocrypha and start reading some of the stories that Richard reports.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's like, this scripture is brought to you by Bell and the Dragon for this week. And you're like, we don't have Bell and the Dragon
We're not in our
ours.
Bible. That's right.
So.
Yeah, and that I would love to have a Catholic priest on to explain, but also, maybe later on down the road to figure out how we, I know this, but the reasons why Protestants took these certain these books of the Bible out, just like the Book of Wisdom. Mm-hmm. That seems like a pretty good title for a book of the Bible.
Yeah,
Wisdom.
I would probably read that one.
So I'd like to find out the reasons why the Protestant movement took those out.
And you also want to do an exorcism on me.
Sometimes my kids.
Oh yeah.
So
right
especially the little one. She's when she's all cracked out.
Yeah,
so.
it was a good 40 days, 40 plus 6.
It was a challenge. About day 20, it became a challenge.
Hey, buddy,
So.
I was really nervous on day 1 and 2, and then it started to kind of get a little bit easier.
Sure.
But yeah, it was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And then we would text each other like, who's on tonight? And try to figure out who's doing it.
Yep.
And then adjusting for schedules and things. I will say that I have enjoyed my 9 o'clock hour, but my alarm will still go off.
Oh yeah.
You'd be like, oh no, it's time for lunch. Oh no, we're not doing
That's
it.
right. That's right.
Spiritually, I think that I really look forward more to Easter this year than I have in the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
And going through that whole process and understanding like the whole 40 days and giving up my 9 o'clock time slot.
Sure.
To spending time in the Word and doing that. So
yeah, and I think kind of doubling down on that a little bit, just the fact that you get to spend more time realizing, especially the Holy Week, I think was very special where, the reason why Christ did what he did. Yeah. Not just the fact that, okay, well, the Father sent me here. Well, I guess while I'm here, I'm going to do this for 33 years, and then they can hang me or they can put me on the cross. So,
I don't think they hanged.
Well, they hung him on the cross.
Okay,
but thanks for letting me clear that up. But you get to see that, and also that week leading up to his death. What anguish! I mean, the humanity. A lot of times we gloss over the humanity of Christ.
Yeah, exactly.
We look towards the divine, and to see that humanity part just. You try to interject yourself. How would you feel? Would you, even if you knew you had a purpose, would you still do it? You know, and many of us couldn't say that. I mean, if you knew that you were standing outside a building where someone was holding someone hostage and you were the answer to that, would you aim more for self-preservation, or would you actually sacrifice yourself to go in there? Yeah. So that kind of hit me several times. Going through the Holy Week. So
yeah, I think the one that was probably the most impactful was the very last one was just that night. After Christ died, he was buried in the tomb. Like, what were the disciples thinking? Like the day before, he was a complete con artist. And now the day after, he's a savior. Like to go from that drastic, he lied to us. He's not telling the truth. Everything that we hoped for is now gone. Right. And now he comes back and he's a savior. But they didn't know that on Saturday night. Right. And how many times do we have our own Saturday nights where we just doubt that Jesus was real, that he's a con artist? But then there's a Sunday, and there's a resurrection.
You kind of wonder. I wonder if Christ wondered that his followers, his disciples, were just bandwagon followers because, like you said, all of a sudden he was crucified, died. Yeah. It was kind of like the mentality of like high school where you had this one kid who's a nerd. Well, you never heard from him again after you graduate. So you think he's dead. And then all of a sudden at your 10-year reunion, he comes in driving the nicest car, very nice looking wife, and find out he's actually a CEO of a company. Do you all of a sudden become a bandwagon friend again? I mean, so, but
he called it, right? He said, "Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times." So he already knew it was going to happen.
Oh yeah,
and he still loved him through that whole thing. The other piece is the fact that he still died for Judas, right? And even washed his feet. even though he knows he's going to betray him. And
But
that,
I mean,
that
like
really,
you said, he denied. Peter denied, and then Christ still made his church upon Peter.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
very, very big, impactful. Like I said, it's nice to dive into it and take that. Well, 40 nights or 46 nights. It was a long time, but it was very nice to take that time, that consistency, to actually dive a little deeper, because it's not all about the Easter bunnies and Easter eggs.
Right.
It's a lot deeper to that. So I enjoyed it. I got a lot out of it, and I think several of our listeners did too. So.
Yeah, no, I think so too. So this is going to be a really weird transition into some wacky news.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. It's making me crazy. It's making me crazy. Every time I look around. Every time I look around. It's in my face.
All right. You talk about getting ready for church on Sunday. Do you have a problem with getting the kids up ready to go on Sunday morning?
You better not have the same story I do.
Oh no.
Do I have a problem getting the kids up
Yeah.
for church? Absolutely, including my wife.
Ooh.
She likes to sleep in.
Anything that you do in particular to get her ready to roll or get the kids going?
No, I just complain to them.
Do you ever use a taser?
No, I don't.
Is this your story?
That is my story. You go ahead.
A mother is arrested after using a taser to wake up her teenage son on Easter Sunday because he wouldn't get out of bed for church. Sharon Dobson, 40, she was charged on Easter Sunday with a felony of child abuse. She is accused of using the taser on her son's leg near their Phoenix home. She told police that she only activated the stun gun to force her kid out of bed for Easter church service. I mean, could you imagine? Like, would you ever use a taser on your kids?
Oh no, not at all. That's some risky stuff right there.
The 16-year-old didn't complain about any of the pain, but he did have 2 small bumps on his leg from the back where he said the stun gun got him. Good gosh. You know she wasn't playing, though.
Oh no,
Hey.
she wouldn't have none of that.
Hey, honey, get out of bed for church.
Also, ironically, both her kids are on probation and have ankle bracelets. So
Oh, no.
just to make it a little better.
Oh, no, I did not read that.
Yeah,
in here.
there's another article.
Oh my gosh! So she made it a brief court appearance on Monday and was ordered not to have any contact with her 2 kids.
Imagine that.
Hey, buddy. All right, so here's the other wacky news that I have. This, I tell you, all of them are ending up in people going to jail. So I think you're gonna like this one. A woman jailed for setting a motel fire. You ready for this? With burning packages of ham. With a ham.
Wow.
North Alabama woman is jailed
Had to be from Alabama or Florida, one of the two.
on a felony arson charge for setting a fire to a package of ham and then tossing it into the garbage can at an Athens motel. The police say Beverly Harrison, 62, is accused of setting fire that caused an explosion at the Bomar Inn last month. I am not making that up. Bomar Inn. According to Athens police, officers were called to assist the firefighters around 9 a.m. Good gosh, that was early in the morning. No injuries were reported of the fire. So here's what happened. Investigators say that they learned that the family had brought Harrison a pack of ham to eat, but she didn't want the ham. After the family left, she set the ham on fire and put it in the garbage can. When the smoke started filling the room, she grabbed her dog and left, and then it hit a can of butane fuel. Of course it did, and then started the fire. Oh, man, she must have not liked any ham.
What was the purpose of that? Was a Molotov cocktail not available? I mean, to use the family ham?
She's, well, I don't want no ham. And then, but look at Mama. Look at Mama.
Ooh.
Oh. We'll have this story up on our show notes, but oh man, you got to see Mama.
She,
I mean,
yeah.
She didn't want the ham.
Well, she wanted to trade a ham for some meth.
Oh my gosh, Mama. And then, like, so, what's the state that has Burning Man? Nevada. Nevada has Burning Man.
Yeah.
Alabama's now gonna have Burning
Ham Festival. Well, we do have the Burning Can Festival here in North Carolina.
What's that?
It's Oscar Blues beer company.
Huh.
They do a burning can.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Golly, Mama.
The Burning Ham.
She did not like ham.
Birmingham.
Oh. I see what you did there. My wife did her first ham on
That was
Easter
delicious
Sunday.
too. Thanks for the invite, by the way.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible. She did good. She had this weird dream that somehow the ham, did she tell you about the dream?
No, not really.
The ham, she had this dream the night before where she was opening up the ham, and as she opened it up, it continued to grow and grow and grow, and then it became an entire pig. It was like the Casper mattress of this, of this, where it would open it up and it became a full pig, and it was running around the house, and she had to chase it. So she was so worried about messing up this ham, but it all turned out well.
I'd like to have a person that interprets dreams on that one.
So those are my wacky news stories. So that's some wacky news brought to you by Webmerized. Hey, if you need a clean, crisp new website, check out our friends at webmerized.com on the sponsor section of our website, and they will set you up. So that wacky news is brought to you by Webmerized. When we come back, we will talk about that time of the month. And, oh, man, we got some good ones on this one. All right, so we will be coming back. This is the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Words cannot describe how awesome Robert and his team at Webmerized are. In our time of need,
Texas
Robert
Bill
came
would
through for
find.
us and devoted more time than expected to help our organization develop our new website. It truly is a blessing to have an individual that can speak to the average person not in the IT world in a manner that can easily be understood. The process of working with his team was painless, and I look forward to working with them for future projects. Our website is spectacular, and I'm really proud of what was developed by Webmerized. Thanks, thanks, thanks. Don't take Stella H's word for it, and also Southern Fried Philosophies, but go out to webmerized.com, WEBMERIZED, or check out the sponsors link on our website. And if you mention the word biggin in your order, you'll get 10% off. Check them out at webmerized.com for your web services needs.
The tears are flowing, they're coming once again. And I'm starting fights that I just can't win. Why do I try? I never can tell. This time of the month, though it sure is hell.
All right, we are back. This is the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, and this is a bit that we do every month called That Time of the Month, and it is the weird, the awkward, the holidays, the observations that Hallmark does not make any cards for, but
That we know of yet.
and there should be. We really should
I think
kind of get
there's a few gems always.
So these are some of the ones that we're going to highlight. And the other thing that I thought about is we're going to do the months and the weeks, and maybe on our Instagram feed we'll pop up every once in a while, Happy Pancake Day or something like that. So we'll try to do that and do better on our Instagram account. So some of the fun months that we have for this one, any of these pop out at you that really kind of own you?
Adopt a ferret month. I've actually had a ferret.
Have you?
Yeah, I did grow in our my late teens.
What inspired you to get a ferret?
Well, I was traveling on the road a lot in the restaurant industry, and you want a pet. Well, you can't be there for a dog all the time to walk them.
Yeah.
So with a ferret,
Yeah.
as long as you have a corner, they'll poop in it. So I had a ferret in my hotel room because I lived out of a suitcase for
Oh, wow.
about a year. But yeah, I had a ferret. Those things stink.
Yes.
God, they're fun little creatures, but man, they stink.
Do you remember there's a movie called The Beastmaster?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I would, that's what put me on the road to want a ferret. And then I smelled it and I was like, nah, I'm out.
Well, also, if you remember the ferret in Kindergarten Cop,
Oh, yeah.
saved
You're right about
saved the
that.
little boy.
Yeah.
Ferret jumped up and bit the guy's neck. So yeah, remember that.
Yeah. It is Adopt a Greyhound month. That's a shout out for Tim and Jill.
He's got a rescue greyhound, doesn't he?
He does.
Former retired racing dog.
Yeah. I would like for them to take it off the leash and just let it run one day. That would be kind of fun to watch. I don't know. We wouldn't get it back.
It wouldn't come back. Yeah.
Well, maybe it would. It would just keep going in a circle. You think?
Could be. Yeah, maybe that, or especially in your neighborhood with all the squirrels.
Oh, golly. You're right about that.
Ain't a safe squirrel out there.
Amateur Radio Month.
Something controversial is Confederate History Month.
I was going to ask, do you think we're still going to have it this month?
It's probably not going to be talked about, I'm sure. So,
Autism Awareness Month. That's a shout out to Amazing Grace Advocacy. Not
Right.
that they've done anything to it, but I mean, just to
That's
awareness.
what her mission in life
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Um,
Irritable bowel syndrome month.
hey, buddy. That seems like it's every day for me. I'll be honest with you.
There's no pollen awareness month on here, but
It is distracted. Oh, I wrote down distracted driving awareness month, but I meant to take that out because I was driving when I put this together. So
that's also like every month for teenagers. So. Yeah, you have the with the IBS, you also have the soy food month, which it pretty much gives you IBS, soy food.
Can you name me one thing that is decent with soy? Or like, can you make
Soy
anything
sauce?
besides soy sauce?
Yeah, I do like edamame beans, which
Okay.
are soybeans.
Are they?
Yeah.
Huh.
I do like.
I thought they were edamame beans.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's all right. I do like tofu. I do love tofu.
It's the texture thing for me. I can't do it.
I got techniques, and then tempeh, which is fermented soybeans.
Huh.
I do like that. When every once in a while we'll go vegetarian for a little while. I'll use those to cook with. So.
How about it?
But other than that,
Well, we're gonna add the emotional overeating awareness month. That's like every day for me.
hate week.
Tell me about hate hate week.
I that's like a stretch there. It's a whole week to
The
hate.
whole week. I get tired after a day of hating something. Like,
It's a whole lot easier not to hate.
Yeah.
It takes a lot less energy not to.
I think it's better when you're older that you just don't have enough testosterone to even care anymore. That you're just like, it doesn't bother me anymore.
National Dream Hotline.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe have your wife call about her dancing pig.
Or I was wondering if that's a weekly observation the last weekend of the month, but I wonder if that's a 900 number.
Could be.
I wonder if that's it.
Interstate mullet toss? Is that the mullet the fish or the hairdo?
Either way, I think I would enjoy watching those be tossed.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
And it's National Humor Month, but then it's also National Holy Humor Month. So I wonder if like the Christians like wanted to piggyback off of that
Yeah.
and then just say
We gotta have clean jokes too.
we can have clean jokes. Speaking of, have you seen the there was a Babylon Bee. You're familiar with Babylon Bee.
It's the satire side.
Oh my gosh, there was an article. Let me see if I can.
By the way, Babylon Bee is like the Onion for Christian news. It's very funny but on point.
So here's one of the headlines. KJV only church requires clear Bible covers to verify no one is concealing an NIV.
That was good. Yeah, that's in response to the clear backpacks for the schools now. So
Yep. They said that the NIV is extremely dangerous. So I thought that was funny.
it's of the devil.
It's of
what
the
I've
devil.
heard.
It's National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Month. So every month, every day of the month, you should have a grilled cheese sandwich.
You know, I do like some grilled cheese though. That and tomato soup. I could probably eat that for a dozen meals or so.
And you said the key to a grilled cheese is putting mayonnaise on it.
If you substitute mayonnaise instead of butter, it keeps it more crisp.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Yeah. National Donate Life Month.
Yes, that's a shout out to you.
I'm sorry if I keep hitting this dead horse, but I appreciate it.
Careful.
So I appreciate it.
It's National Scoop the Poop Week as well. So that's not good.
Some of my neighbors have fallen behind on that. Of course, my daughter too. I shouldn't poke fingers at people.
So there are a couple that I do want to they go in a row. It's Golden Rule Week, the 1st through the 7th. So that's, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And then it's also Laugh at Work Week. I wonder if that's Laugh at Your Work Week. But then it's followed by the same one as Explore Your Career Options, which is then followed by Hate Week.
Yeah.
And then National Mule Day, the 5th through the 8th. So now you just feel like a jackape for going through all of
Well,
that.
at least those kind of those lined up to make pretty good sense there. So
Yeah, I mean they nailed it right there.
Cleaning for a Reason Week. I guess that's about April spring cleaning.
Is there any time where you clean for no reason? I don't understand that one.
Well, I've kind of given up on it. I don't. 2 kids and a wife. I don't even clean up anymore. It's
your
it's
house
pointless.
looks great.
we tidy it up like right before people get there. Just don't check under the cushions or the closets.
That's the key. All right, guys. So here's the deal. It's National Card and Letter Writing Month. So here at SFP, we're going to encourage you. We're not even asking you to write a card or a letter. The thing that we're going to ask you to write is just a review on iTunes. Please,
Great.
that's all we ask you to do. It's not that hard. We also ask you to share and post the episodes. It's not that hard. We need
Actually,
to get
if you
this
just
thing.
go to iTunes and give us a thumbs up or star rating, and then just write great. That's all you got to write.
Yeah.
5 little words, maybe the exclamation point if you want to at the end, and
Or even just one word of great.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep. A+. We can shorten it down.
We like it. Or just A. You don't even have to say anything
Yeah.
else. Just A.
Just do that for us.
Oh, guys, listen. If you want the show to keep going, my wife has given me a timetable, and we need to get this sucker off the ground. So if you like the show, please just go out and write a review on iTunes, anywhere else. Just, say that you like the show, and that would be great. So there we go. So that's been that time of the month. We hope you enjoyed it. So we are going to transition into some news. We don't have any hey, here's some news music, but we're going to transition to that. Anyway, so our guest had canceled, so we are just going to talk about some news. We've got the teacher walkout. So can you explain a little bit of the teacher walkout in my home state of Kentucky and Oklahoma? Do you want to?
Yeah, this is probably going to be an ongoing thing, but teachers across the several states right now have been walking out in protest of wages. Obviously, they want to see an increase in wages. Oklahoma, I know, is like 47th, I believe, in teacher pay.
Oh, wow.
Kentucky is, I think, right there also, and somewhere in the 40s. So, yeah, these teachers have done this. They're protesting on Capitol grounds or just not showing up to work, I guess. So this is kind of a mass protest, mass, however you want to call it. They're just holding hostage, I guess.
Maybe.
So, but yeah. So what's your thoughts on that?
So from my understanding, trying to be as non-sided, what is that word?
Biased.
Non-biased as possible. I'm really gonna have to go through a 4th grade dictionary one of these days, and then it being as non-biased as possible. From what I understand, it's not impacting anything from the current teachers. For the future teachers, they've got rid of their pensions, and then a death benefit for anybody in the future for the spouses. So they had like a life insurance plan for the teachers for the future, and now they're getting rid of that.
Sure.
From what I understand as well is that there's actually no cost savings at all in the future to allow them to do that, to provide no benefits. There's no cost savings at all, and in fact, it's actually going to cost more to not do those things for whatever reason. So to me, it doesn't make sense. I think that, I think teachers are incredibly underpaid for the things that they're doing. Now, I understand you can talk about, oh, well, they have 3 months off. Oh, if you look at the hours that they put in. But let's also look at the lack of resources that the schools are giving their teachers, the lack of the crap that they've got to go through dealing with our teenagers, plus the parents, because the parents can be jacktards. I don't think what they're getting paid is nearly enough, especially when we give entertainers and sports folks millions and millions of dollars, while the teachers, the police, the fire department are critically underpaid. But those are my 2 cents and my 2 thoughts. So yours?
Mine will be more unpopular.
Yeah, I figured.
How did you go into your line of work?
It was completely by accident, to be honest with you. Yeah.
But you made a decision to. I mean, it wasn't like no one held a gun to your head to
Right.
choose.
Right.
So, your skills, and I'm sure you're probably paid a little bit more than teachers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that.
So, skills and fruits of labor are determined by the currency, money, and what that money dictates. Your your salary is paid off of the fruits of your labor and the money generated by the work that you do for your company. Your company has
Correct.
a tangible need in the market. I'm not saying teachers don't. Teacher salaries, on the other hand, are generated by tax revenues that are collected by the city and county, and also state. I don't believe in taxing more at all, because once you do that, if someone doesn't want to pay that tax, that is basically by force. I mean,
Right.
if-
I give you on that.
the city can actually come in and forcibly make you pay that. I'm never for more taxation.
Right.
Going back to the Kentucky, I know specifically Kentucky because I did a little reading on this the other day. Kentucky has $42 billion in unfunded future liabilities with teachers, which is the pension part of this. So I can see why Kentucky is in full panic mode. They've prior administrations for teachers' votes, for the votes of other people that are related to teachers or educational or who have been teachers or people that want to be future teachers. Some person in the government made all these promises in pensions or whatever it may, teachers compensation,
Right.
and now they don't have the ability to pay this.
Yeah.
So they're $40 to $42 billion in unfunded liabilities.
Yeah.
So Kentucky's got to do something.
Sure.
So it's either A, you cut stuff out, or B, you bite the bullet and go into huge debt to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is to that because I'm not a politician. Whoever the politician is, well, that'll be a death knell to their campaign, I guarantee you.
Yeah, it's a new governor, Matt Blevins, I think it is.
And I like Blevin. Blevin is a fiscal conservative. He's reasonable, but
he's a moron.
everybody's a moron. To be in politics, I think you have to be a moron. But
That's true.
So the teachers, go back to the original question, and I'm not saying I don't have sympathy for teachers because my daughters have some great teachers,
Right.
and they've had great teachers.
Right.
But going into the teaching you're not forced to do that. I mean, I've just had a friend of ours who transitioned at the age of mid-30s into teaching after all these years of being in retail.
Wow.
So it's a choice.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying so you make a choice because of pay or whatever, but I understand that. But what's unfair is that I don't know if it's career day where they're missing out or people are exactly told what they're going to be making. I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure what the allure of teaching is. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the allure is.
But I mean, I think that the people are called to different things. Like you say the same thing to a pastor. Like, well, why do you do that?
Yeah.
And
But do pastors go on strike or Go ahead.
no, but I will say that the church doesn't support pastors nearly as much as they should.
I don't disagree with
They
that.
don't pay them nearly as much, even though that's a calling for them. They understand that they're going into this thing and they're going to have to live at X amount of this type of lifestyle because they decide to go into that.
Sure.
Now, does that mean that we shouldn't pay them more? No, I don't think that that's the case. I think that they should be paid more.
Right.
And the same thing with teachers is they have a passion, they have a calling to teach these kids, and that's for whatever reason that's what they feel like they should do, and they know going into it that this is how much I'm going to get. But then when the state says, well, psych, we're taking away your pension, then that's something to get all up in arms about. I totally agree with that. Or if you take away X amount of benefits for these teachers, what is going to attract these teachers to actually come to Kentucky to teach?
Sure.
You're not going to have that. So therefore, that is an issue. You're not going to have more teachers to replenish those that are going out. So there does have to be at least some spotlight to that, and I am glad that Kentucky and Oklahoma are getting that spotlight shined on them because there does need to be some type of change. But going back to the taxation, I totally agree with that. Like, we've got to figure out a way to fund these schools somehow, but maybe not through taxes, maybe more privatized schools or things like that. But these teachers are going into it knowing that they're going to have this pay, and they're doing it because it's a calling. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't pay them anymore.
No, I don't disagree with that. But once again, everybody's. everybody's fruits of their labor are as a marketable asset. And some of it's crap, like people get paid like sports stars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, granted they're great athletes, but what do they really contribute? I mean, they're
I
not
agree with that.
they're not the ones that's pushing the button to like Homer Simpson keeping the nuclear plant together. You know what I'm saying? These guys fill an entertainment role.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't fill anything other than that. They don't give us any knowledge. They may give some people some inspiration, but for the most part, these people are paid like kings and queens. Just because it's going back to the pastor versus the teacher. A pastor is paid off of donations and tithing. This teachers are basically paid off of taxation through, forced taxation. I mean, so there's a little bit of difference there, as far as benevolency.
Sure.
And something that's required. Do I believe that this government, all governments, local, county, city, state, national, do I believe that they misappropriate funds for stupid things? Absolutely, absolutely. That if you look at take any government, you could take a city of only 150 people because that's all it takes to incorporate a city or a township. Mm-hmm. If you look at that, I guarantee you there's going to be misappropriation funds for something.
Yeah, sure.
So I think we have to dial it back. I think we have to relook at budgets. I think budgets have to be audited, not by state employees or county employees or government employees. They have to be audited by independent agencies to find out where the fluff's going. If we have X amount of dollars being collected, then we need to allocate those appropriately to first responders or teachers. I mean, because who cares if we got to repay this street for the third time in 3 years. Let's reallocate those funds for something else. Yeah. But will the teacher, for example, if you took all the teachers in Kentucky right now and every one of them quit, would they be replenished? There's a possibility of it. Reason why is because there has to be the next generation coming in that says, no, I will not accept that. But there will never be that. Just like how wages can be held down. There's the big argument with immigration with reason why these people want to come in as voters and they want to decrease the average wage, living wage. Well, there's a lot of truth to that because if you have a standard guy that's been there for a couple of years making $8 an hour, demands a raise to be 10, but all of a sudden so and so comes off the street who's just entered this country willing to accept $7 an hour. Mm-hmm. That lowers the standard wage pretty quick. Yeah. Same thing with teachers. You may have teachers that have been there for 20 years asking to be bumped from 50 to 55, but all of a sudden you got a nice young teacher out of college at 22 wanting to start at 34. That teacher at 22, 24 is going to have to say, no, I will not accept that. Yeah. I want to be paid this, but it'll never happen. Yeah, because you constantly have an influx of people entering the work field. Yeah. So for teachers, if they want to get serious, they have to. That person coming in has to say no, I will not work for that. Yeah. So do I pretend like I know the answer? No, but I know that taxes cannot go up. I mean, because there's some localities like Illinois. I think the average teacher makes $90,000 there. Wow. Plus full pension. But of course,
you got cost of living that's going to be more.
Of course, Illinois also had I think they had a net loss of people last year. People are moving out of Illinois because they cannot afford to live there. Yeah. So that's the other problem. So eventually, it's going to be so high there with taxes in Illinois that they're going to have unfunded liabilities also, just like Kentucky. Yeah. So just raising taxes is not the answer because you're going to piss off people and they're going to move to another state.
Yeah, no, and that is the beauty of the free market. But what if you made it so that you could donate or do a charitable contribution to a school or schools?
You can already do that.
And that would be a tax write-off for you, and it would increase the funds directly to those schools. So
you can already do that. Like there's a line item on your tax forms. There's actually a line item form if you feel like you want to pay more taxes. Mm-hmm. You can fill that denomination in, or denomination. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. You can fill that dollar amount that you'd like to donate to the U.S. government, and it goes directly to the U.S. government coffers. I wonder how many times that actually happens. Probably none. Yeah. But schools are constant. I mean, you can. I think most county taxes city or county taxes when they collect, there's an optional blank spot on there. I think Cabarrus County has it here where we're at, that you can actually pay more into and actually designate those funds to go to that.
Oh, wow.
So
Did not know that.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on the. I know it's on the state tax form. It's also on the IRS form too. That you can also do that directly. So if you think that you want to donate, if you feel guilty that you got a tax cut, or if you feel guilty that you made too much money and didn't pay taxes enough, you can actually take that line item and actually pay more taxes.
But do you get a tax deduction off of that?
No, because you're giving direct. For the next year, you do
Okay.
a little bit, but not. It's not the same thing as donating to a 501c3 because the government's actually set up as a corporation.
Well, good job there, government. Thanks a lot.
But
Washington.
I'm also no tax expert, so please do not follow tax advice by me. Have you done your taxes, by the way?
Oh, listen.
I have been on my wife for about 2 months now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
We have a wonderful person that we have do our taxes, and it's like I can't get the right paperwork. So, and it's on me. It's not on her. So, it's just I'm a moron. So I'm trying to get it together. Jess is getting it together.
Right.
Every time we send it, it's like, oh, I forgot about this. Not her. It was me.
Yeah.
So it's like, son of a biscuit.
I'm hoping to get ours done before the 15th or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
You can file that extension, baby.
I have every year for the last 18.
I haven't paid my taxes in the last 18 years. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there you go.
Lord knows
And that's
not
the last
case.
episode of the show. So. No, but like I said, I know it's an unpopular opinion because we have some teachers that are friends. Do I want them paid more? Absolutely. But I think also where that comes into is private market. Schools that are private, schools that are even some of these charter schools have higher teacher salary averages than our public schools. But also, I don't think you can offer a blanket raise because what about the teachers that are doing great?
Yeah.
But also, what about the teachers that have just given up on life?
Yeah.
And are there for the paycheck? Do they deserve a raise too?
No.
I think it has to be merit based.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
But see, that's where teacher unions can hold counties and cities hostage is that they will ask for raises that are blanket.
Yeah.
So and of course they don't do a good job of actually weeding out the bad teachers. But anyway, that's just my humble opinion.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you on that one. All right, so we are going to call it a show. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Southern Fried Philosophy.
Well, if you want me to, I can actually pretend to be our guest.
Let's not do that because we may want him to show up.
That's right. Anyway, we appreciate you tuning in. Please go to our Facebook page at Southern Fried Philosophy. Also go to our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. Also go to our YouTube at youtube.com/SFP Radio. Instagram and Twitter's at SFP Radio. Also, please, pretty please,
Give you $1.
That's right. Well, maybe something like that. But anyway, go to Google Play, iTunes, or Stitcher. Please subscribe. Give us a review. Also, please share your favorite episodes. We really appreciate that.
And as always, keep it rolling.